Hi everyone, my name is Amy and my partner is Zara. So today we are going to talk about the best way to protect the environment. So firstly, I think reducing plastic is one of the best way to protect the environment. This is because plastic takes a very long time to decompose and can cause serious pollution. For example, plastic waste can end up in rivers and oceans where it can harm marine animals such as turtle. There are several ways that we can reduce our use of plastic in our daily life. For example, we can bring reusable shopping bags and water bottle instead of using plastic bags and buying bottles drink. We can also avoid single-use plastic items such as straw, cups, and plastic cutlery. As a student, we can start with simple habit. For instance, we can bring our own food container and water bottle to college. Although these actions may seem small, they can make a big difference if many people practice them. What do you think?
Yeah, I really agree with your brilliant idea. Moreover, planting trees also a best way to protect the environment. As you know, trees are important because they provide oxygen to us to breathe, give us a shade and help make our surrounding bigger, greener. So they can also provide habitats for different animals and help reduce the effects of environmental problems. For example, school and local communities can organize tree planting program in an empty area or public area. Students can also take part in this activity to learn more about the importance of protecting our nature. However, planting a tree is not enough if we do not take care of them after planting. We also need to water and protect them so that they can grow properly. Therefore, I think planting trees is a simple but really meaningful way for people to contribute to a healthier environment. Do you agree with my point, Amy?
I agree with your point, Zara. Next is, I think, recycle waste. I also think recycle waste is another effective way to protect the environment. This is because recycling is important because it can reduce the amount of rubbish that is sent to landfill. It also allows materials such as paper, plastic, glass, and metal to be used again instead of being thrown away. For example, we can spread our waste at home or at college. We can put plastic bottles, paper, or aluminium cans into recycling bins. We can also reuse certain items before throwing them away. For instance, we can reuse cardboard boards to store our belongings. As a student, we can take part in recycling campaign organized by our college. We can also encourage our friends to recycle and remind them to spread their waste properly. If more people practice recycling, we can significantly reduce the amount of waste produced. So that's why I think recycle is a simple but effective way to protect the environment because it reduces pollution. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with your brilliant idea. So, the other point from me is, I think we need to, I think public transport can help us to protect the environment. It is because when we have fewer private car on the road can means less traffic and fewer emission. As we know, when we have a lot of car using on the road, it can produce a lot of carbon monoxide and can increase our green zone. So the way that we want to protect is we use a public transport. For example, instead of everyone driving their own car, people can use buses or trains when go to school or work or the other place that they want to go. By doing this, it can also reduce a traffic congestion, especially in a busy cities. Besides helping the environment, public transport also can be convenient and may reduce the travelling costs because people do not need to spend as much on food and parking. However, public transport need to be reliable and comfortable to encourage more people to use it. Overall, I think using a public transport is a really practical way for people to contribute to environmental protection, especially when people live in the busy city. It produce a lot of carbon monoxide and increase our green zone, and it can make our nature being the temperature of our earth being hot. Do you agree with me, Amy?
I think that is a good point.
So after discussing all the points, we think planting trees is the most important way to protect the environment. This is because trees provide long-term benefit to the environment. They provide oxygen, give a shade, and provide habitat and food for animals.
Okay. Moreover, planting trees can have a lasting positive impact if we take a good care of them. So that's why we agree that planting trees is the most important way to protect the environment. That's all from us. Thank you.
Bye.